Previously, on judging the out of Midnight Hollow, we found quite the divide in the ranking of our builds. We found some beautiful creations, as well as some baby poo disasters. Inner beauty is a virtue, but like human beings, these builds often have ugly surprises on the inside. However, we have our second perfect 10 of the series, so it's clear there are some things worth looking into. This week, we finish off ranking the rest of the occupied builds in the world. If you are new to the channel and have been keeping up with the series, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And please continue to leave your feedback in the comments down below, especially if I miss something lore related. We're all here to learn. Thank you so much. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get back into the video. What's up guys, Rakowski here. Welcome back to Midnight Hollow. Last episode was kind of crazy, wasn't it? Like, I gave a lot of low scores and a lot of high scores. I still can't believe we found another perfect 10. I don't know if we'll be so lucky today, because if you noticed at the beginning of the last video, I was like, ooh, I like a couple of the houses I see. We already did them, so we're gonna see what we have next. Again, we're just gonna go in alphabetical order by names of the house. So I'm gonna cut away, spend 5 minutes trying to look for the first one, and I'll catch you back. First up, we have the orderly quarters. Or like disorderly quarters. Look at this yard. It's a complete mess. I actually kind of like it. I like that it's a brighter color because it kind of breaks up the world a little bit. If you noticed, the house that I loved last episode was like the bright pink and blue one. So maybe that's just something I'm looking for in this world. The yard is a disaster, but in a good way. It's like overgrown. I like how some of the trees are dead, some are alive, because it just looks really realistic, like as if nobody's lived here for like 50 years. I even like that they used red doors. I think it goes really well with the blue, and the tile is really nice leading up to the entryway as well. I could take or leave the brick wall fence. I think it could have just been like a regular fence, or just like maybe that kind of style of iron fence, but taller. It's definitely different. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. Let's just take a closer look. This color combination is divine, like this orangey yellow and this kind of fuchsia purple. It's beautiful. I would have actually just loved it. The whole house was like this. Unfortunately, it isn't. We have a green wallpaper, green and blue together, or is that yellow? I can't even tell. I don't hate it. It's just not something I would pick. You know what I mean? What I do not like is this yellow wallpaper though. This is a little ugly. Oh, it's a beautiful painting. This looks exactly like that Kylie Minogue music video. But my name was Eliza Day. I'm gonna stop singing for you guys. Nobody likes me singing. I like this bathroom a little bit. The red and black, a little bit bold choice, but I think it's all right. I think it's the best room on the first floor. Okay, let's move to the second floor. Okay, the colors are actually kind of carrying on. I like that. I like the cohesion. Even if I don't love this wallpaper, I'm glad it's not like a completely different color that throws me off. Okay, this is exactly how a master bath is supposed to be. I was complaining before that like all the bathroom stuff was in different rooms. This is a separate toilet area. That's normal. You know what? I'm not horrified. I really do like it. I like a lot of the use of colors. And again, the things that I don't like, I think are just like disagreements of aesthetics. Like nothing is completely overwhelmingly gross. That's kind of my version of a compliment. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a great shell too, like lots of space, but like kind of done in a way that makes sense. Next up is Peculiar Roost. I actually love this. Right off the bat, first impression is it's exactly what I'm looking for in like a black Gothic house. I think it's got a beautiful shape, beautiful shell. You usually don't see anything too creative with EA build shells. Sorry, I'm losing control of the camera because I went next to a mountain. Look at the landscaping. I really like the purple bushes. I think it's windowed beautifully. I love the roof trim. I love that it's like a dark kind of black, but again, not too black that you lose all of the details. Look at the back. Oh my God, this is so pretty. Oh, they're like a rock band. They have like their stage set up. You know how I feel about stages because I just love attention. Oh my God, I love it all the way around. I love the fence they chose. This is exactly the fence that I wanted in the last house. I'm impressed. So let's just all say a prayer right now for no baby poo. No baby poo, no color at all. You know what? I would rather have that than like a bunch of ugly ones. It's actually not colorless. It has really muted, darkish gray versions of colors, which just suit the house perfectly. This blue is really nice. I like the carpet. I love it how it's just the stereo too. It's like a little bit of a music room. I could see that. The living room is really nice too. I really like that setup. It's kind of hard to do kind of things in the middle like that. The dining room could use like Even just like a dead plant in the middle, I would have appreciated something like that. But I do love like the wall candles. Beautiful, simple bathroom. Nothing to make you lose your appetite as you go into the kitchen, which is also beautiful. That's a kitchen sink for sure. The stove and the fridge are separate, just like I like. Dishwasher, hanging pots. This is a really nice kitchen. This might be the best kitchen we've seen in the series. I'm blown away. It's been a while since I've seen a nice kitchen. You usually see them in The Sims 4, but not really in The Sims 3 for some reason. Green fridge and green oven next to a bathroom sink, and ta-da, you have a kitchen. Gross. Upstairs, there's like a couple pops of color, but they're kind of like the right colors. I like how this pink goes with the yellow and the blue, and individually, I think each room is really nice. I like how the other ones are also kind of black and white, grayscale and muted. It just, because it would be too much for this house if there was just colors all around, you know? I'm not sure why they called it a peculiar roost, because there's nothing peculiar about it. It's kind of great. Like, I'm not shaking with excitement, but I'm trying to think of like a negative so I don't give it a 10, but I'm gonna give it a 10. It's exactly how I would have styled it. And I don't have to change anything. I don't think I've ever seen an EA house that I'm like, this is perfect. Next up is relevant residence. What's irrelevant is this 3rd and 4th story tall roof at the front here. That's a bit much. I bet the back is gonna have like all windows. Totally. Yeah, absolutely. I'm finding these easier to predict. Like I said, I'm pretty sure like a same person or maybe a couple people, they did the whole thing themselves. Like for sure you can tell that there's like a lot of cohesion between the builds. It's just, you know, it doesn't do much for me. Like the kind of white and gray brick, like it's nice, like it's pretty. It's definitely not like, oh my God, what an ugly house. I just, you know, wish there was a little more going on, especially in the yard. Okay, let's just jump inside and see if there's anything to surprise us. I definitely like the inside way better than the outside, that's for sure. I love this living room. It's kind of like the perfect little size, and I really like this fireplace. I don't think I've seen this fireplace before. The kitchen is pretty good too. It's kind of a little bit of a dark red. I wish it was just a tiny bit brighter. And now I'm just getting nitpicky. This bathroom is a little long. They could have maybe done just one tile smaller, but I guess it does have to match the kitchen, and I wouldn't want the kitchen smaller. So I do kind of get it. Look at me making excuses for EA. You're certainly not going to hear that when I talk about the calientes. The study is really cute too. I never know how to make studies. I just kind of make a room and put a computer in it and then just fill it with crap, and it never looks good. And I do like the plant. Is that an orchid? It is an orchid. I love orchids. I'm down for that. The chess table with just the one chair, like, I feel those vibes. Okay, I did find the outside boring, but quite honestly, like the inside was really well done. I'm gonna give this one an 8 as well. Look at me just handing out these high scores. Maybe I'm in a good mood. Maybe they're actually nice. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Next up is the Serious Shack. I don't see what's so serious about it. I think it's actually kind of pretty. It's nice to see like a more kept up yard because, you know, again, it's nice to have that diversity, but this is done kind of like in a way where it still fits in with the world. Like it isn't too bright and colorful. It's kind of nice all the way around. There's a lot of trees, which, you know, sometimes means they're hiding something ugly, but not in this case. And again, they have a fire pit. I love when the things have a fire pit. These just remind me of those ugly base game Sims 4 windows that everybody hates. It's okay if you like them. It's just probably because you have no taste. I like how it's a little bit brighter, especially because if you look at the Sims here, they look like some interesting characters. And I always like when the house kind of suits them, and just kind of looking at it as a whole, I can definitely see that this house belongs to them. This is definitely not colors that I would choose, but I don't think that they're off-putting. Like, I just don't like this type of blue, and I don't like this type of golden yellow. It's a little bit, I don't know, muted for me. I would never build something like this, but I like how everything kind of plays off of each other. And I always enjoy seeing colors that I like that I didn't know I liked. The trim is verging on baby poo a bit though, so I'm not down for that. Moving upstairs, I kind of like how it's symmetrically laid out, because downstairs it's still balanced, but it's not completely symmetrical. But upstairs is kind of like a mirror. This is another good one. Not as good as the last ones, but still pretty good. I think I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10. I'm docking a point mostly for like the windows and stuff and just little things that I didn't quite agree with. Next up is the Shaded Shack. Well, it certainly is. Look how bright the sky is, and this house is just completely in shadows. I've been trying to not let the day tick on too much, because sometimes at the end of the episode of filming, I'm running out of daylight. Yeah, see over here on the side of the house, it's looking pretty good. Well, actually, except for the fact that there's like almost no windows. And then the front has all of these windows. I don't love the shell. I think it's a bit small for what they were trying to do. But what I do like is how the main entrance is kind of up here on the high porch on the second floor, and this first floor still exists. I've definitely seen things like that in real life. A lot of these houses don't have back doors. This one has a back door, not really a back outdoor space, but you know, at least it has that. But it's not awful, and it's also a bit dark too. Like I wish it just had like a little bit more brightness to it. Okay, so the first floor down here, I actually really like everything about it, except I don't love this blue for it. I think it does go well with black though too. I'm not really sure what else you would do. The hallway's a bit bulky and unnecessary. Like, why does the hallway go all the way around here to the back? The second floor is blue too. I kind of like this blue better that they're using. It's like a little bit more cobalty. It might even actually be the same blue, just like with different lighting, because lighting can affect a lot of things in this game. It's a weird color for bathroom stuff, but I really do like that color. And I think it goes well with the house. The third floor bathroom has the same colors. There's still like the blue in the bedroom. This is like cohesion all the way. I've been complaining a lot about not getting a lot of cohesion. So we're definitely gonna have to give this house some credit for that. Again, it's another shell that like I don't love, but like once I get inside, like I'm feeling the vibe, I understand it. I'm gonna give this house a 7 as well. I almost did a 6, but like it gave me what I've been asking for. So I had to give it some credit. Next up is the somber home. I do like the names in this world, but they're not seeming to match the houses. Because this looks like kind of bright and happy. Maybe he's miserable. He's kind of like a businessman, entrepreneur or something. Yes, he probably hates himself. Look at this. This is a lot of, it's kind of churchy. Like it's got a lot of windows, but it's quite original. I'm going to give it that, but it has its own little twist and take on it. And it's a little bit more complex. This is a little harder to pull off. And I can't really think of anything specific to fix. I do like it. A little crazy with the balconies, and I don't like this back bay window. I can't see it because of the stupid mountain. There's probably not a bay window that kind of matches these anyway, but they didn't have to do a bay window. It's probably the kitchen. I didn't even check. It is the kitchen, but I do like the kitchen. I think that's a beautiful color for it. But well, what do we have here? Have you ever seen a kitchen with this kind of sink? And the fridge and the stove are next together, and like that doesn't happen. Now the bathrooms are black and white, and it looks like they changed the colors of the candles. And again, that's a very original idea. I do like it. I wouldn't have picked that neon blue, but you know what I mean. Why is this flower vase not in the center? Now I'm just being bitchy, but I mean, this is a little bit dark, and you know, this room could use like a hint more color, especially since the house is so bright. It would have fit well in that other house. My favorite thing so far is this carpet in the dining room. Move upstairs. We don't see my favorite rug again. I kind of like how the bathtub is kind of in that little cubby with the windows. I've seen things like that before as well. It still has that hint of blue lights going on. I think it kind of gives the house like its own little flavor. I don't know how I feel about a chandelier on the balcony though. I'm so sorry. I know you want to see an ugly house so bad, but so far we're just getting good ones. I like this house better than the 7s, but not as good as the 8s. So the natural place is 7.5. Somber home, like, you know, you could have named one of the other builds that, you know, one of the ones that basically made me cry. Next up is Sooty Abode. Again, sooty? I don't think it's sooty. I think it's nice. The terrain tools, I love how it's up on the hill. This is hard to do, especially in older games. Sims 4, it's a little easier, but we didn't even have that until like, what, 4 years after the base game came out? Anyway, we're not talking about that stupid game. We're talking about this one. Yeah, I love this path thing leading up to the house. Beautiful, creative, original, still fits within the style. The house looks like the Strangerville library again. I'm getting a little tired of the white houses, but I like how this one has, you know, a different color roof, like a little light blue. Oh, the back is perfect because you have this like balcony porch looking out over here. I think that's great. Because it keeps everything kind of separate, or else like in an open world game like this, you have like the Sims running around everywhere and then you'll have people just standing in your backyard. Okay, so far so good. Don't love the shell, but I mean, hopefully inside is good. Oh, I love this living room. I love that color. I'm wearing that color. I didn't even realize. Beautiful. And the curtains are perfect too. Like a light cream. I would never think to use that color, but they just go so well together. That looks like a bathroom sink. It might pass as a kitchen sink. I guess we'll see. It's very symmetrical here too, but I do like how there's like little difference in color and style. I like a lot of things about this house. The only thing I don't like is the house itself. I love the landscape. I love the path leading up to it. I love the inside. That living room was probably the best color combination we've seen so far in this series. But I think I have to cap the score at a 7. It has some great parts. It's just, you know, the actual shell and the house itself isn't great. Next up is the strange lodging. Again, not that strange. This one has like a bit more brightness to it as well. I know the sun's also hitting it. We're finally in the good daylight time. The landscaping is really pretty. It has that nice mix of like dead tree with like live shrubbery that I was looking for. That's a lot of windows. They went a little crazy. Why do they have 4 windows at the top and nothing underneath? This house is like clustered with windows. So some parts have like a bunch and some parts have nothing. The shape is a little interesting. It's a bit like Victorian Gothic meets American colonial. I don't know. Okay, let's go inside. Ugh. Oh, why did they do this room? This is ugly. This is so ugly. Okay, I just need to like add a little bit more light to find out if this is like green or yellow. It's yellow, but a different yellow. I think that might be green with like yellow trim. I don't know. It's just not for me. It was better without the light there. I really don't like this kind of tile. Is that like orange and green? And it's underneath like blue candles. I liked the blue candles in the other house because the house itself didn't really have colors. So the blue added something. It's like when you're painting and you mix like 3 colors together and then you just get like an ugly brown. Why is the kitchen this big and the dining room this big with nothing over here? Looks like you guys are gonna get what you came for. This is awful. Well, maybe not awful, but like, you know, we've had some really good houses in a row. We only have 5 left. I better find something gross soon. And I think the thing that bothers me most is that this middle hall room looks like it's from a completely different house. The outside is really nice, like now that I'm coming back out of it, but the inside just didn't impress me. But I always appreciate a renovation challenge as well. So if I don't have to touch the roof, I'm happy. I'm gonna give this one a 5. It's definitely the worst we've seen so far this episode, but not the worst that we've seen in this world. Next up is the traditional lodging. Now, disclaimer, I've actually played in this house before. I convinced the guy to leave his wife and then marry me because I wanted to marry a rich sim and he had a big house and then he died. So I took the house and the money. It's like my real life dream. But honestly, I don't think I've ever seen the roof color of this house. I don't know how I feel about it. It's almost there. It's not an ugly green that we've seen before, but something is just a little off with it. And there are way too many windows on this house. I still remember a bit of the inside, so let's just check it out. This house has 2 main problems. Number 1 is it's too big and there's like bedrooms kind of spread out all over the place. When I left my Sims to their own devices, they would just come up to the 2nd floor bed here every time by themselves, even though this is kind of like supposed to be the master bedroom up here. But yeah, downstairs, it's a little bit all over the place. The yellow dining chairs, like I've never seen a yellow dining chair in my life. And like pink couches too, like with that old fashioned pattern. Like to have that kind of pattern, you wouldn't have this kind of pink, and you certainly don't want this kind of pink next to it. I remember liking the kitchen. I like how the fridge is the closest thing to the door. That's always really convenient. And for some reason, they always use this downstairs bathroom, which I felt was a very unnecessary bathroom. But unfortunately, since the house is so big, like you may as well put a bathroom everywhere. And the biggest problem with like the master bath ensuite is that it's not even a bathroom. It's like a water closet. It just has a toilet and a sink. Like, why wouldn't you have a bathtub in that one? And in this one, you don't have a toilet. It's just a bathroom, which did exist like 100 years ago. But yeah, this house has like little bits of ugly everywhere. It's kind of got a lot of problems on the outside. And I know I have played in it. It was because I felt it was worth the most simoleons, not because I liked it the most. But the yard is great. I do like the path leading up to the back gazebo. But that's not going to save this house from getting a 4. Part of it is also because since it is like one of the biggest, grandest houses in the world, like you'd expect it to not be this ugly. Next up is the typical shanty. This one's got a bit more of a stark black and white contrast, but I am familiar with this sim. And if you look at him, I'm going to try to not spoil the house, but you know, he has that black and white aesthetic, so it does suit him. I'm familiar with this house too, because I dated him. I wasn't sure. I thought he was a criminal, so I thought he might have money. I like the little bench area out here with lamps. They don't need like a full backyard thing for this house, but it's nice to have a little bit of an outdoor space. A lot of trees in this world. It's driving me crazy. The shell's a little bit simple. It's kind of too symmetrical. I'm such a bitch. Why isn't it symmetrical? Well, now it's symmetrical. Why isn't it? Why is it fully symmetrical? It should just be balanced. Ooh, okay, yeah, it's very black and white in here. I've definitely been in this house before. This living room is too much. I think the kitchen is a good way to use black and white, and the living room is just a little overboard. The hallway's kind of thick for such a small house. I would have maybe had these rooms like one tile bigger. Bathroom is really cramped too. In The Sims 3, can you actually get in there? I guess you can. I'm gonna check just because if it doesn't work, I'm gonna dock it points. Oh no, they can go in. In The Sims 4, that would never happen. I can't believe the routing is better in this game. I didn't know that. Maybe not better in every circumstance, but definitely for a bathroom. Upstairs, it follows through. I really don't like this bookshelf. Like it has, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to have gold and stuff. Who knows? It's a small house. It didn't take me very long, but it's also like nothing special. And you can see that awful wallpaper right through that front window. I think it suits its purpose. I think it suits the sim that lives in it. It just seems like it was thrown together and like, yeah, let's just make everything black and white and then that'll work. I'm gonna give this one a 5 as well. I can't really go below 5 when like there's not something inside that just completely disgusts me. Next up is the unusual abode. Totally, I agree. Okay, this is definitely the worst colors we've seen. What color is this railing? This is baby poo used as the trim for all of the railings here. You're using it for the roof trim, the windows, the backyard fence here. Oh my God, why? The stairs don't go with the tile, the door doesn't go with the house, the windows don't go with anything. I don't know. And this shell is a bit like, we've seen it, we've been there, but it's kind of done worse than I think the other ones. I think it's less dynamic and just more boxy. But before we jump in, let's just look at this sim. She looks crazy. Oh, she wants to be a surgeon. It's like, yeah, med school will do that to you. First up, I'm gonna point out again that under the stairs, they have like different tiles. Now, fortunately for this house, I would have hated these hidden tiles. And the tiles that they actually chose kind of work. This is a little bit cramped together. I like both of these colors, just not together. And I don't think this is the kind of living room that would have a TV in it. I feel like this would be a TV room and this would be like the lounge. Dining room's kind of really black and white, but I do like the plant in the middle. It just gives it that extra touch. Like this house doesn't seem awful to play in. It's just like none of the colors are working for me. Here you have like the purple and the blue again that don't really go together. And then these like bright green bookshelves. God, and like the computer room is just kind of, off to the side here. Why is this hallway so big? But yeah, like it's a 1-bedroom house. And then you have what, like 1 bathroom, 2 bathrooms, a study, an extra study reading room. I guess if she's going to be a doctor, she should be studying. But then you get downstairs and it's like you have 2 living rooms. It just doesn't make any sense. Like it's not ew bad, but it's bad. I guess there's like little details I like, but I mean, I'm going to give it a 3. Mathematically and logically, it stinks. Last and perhaps least is the weird shelter. I'm just laughing. I can't. Ugh. If I were to describe it, it would sound like a good house, but it just doesn't. It doesn't. And what is this chimney doing here? I'm sure that that's hard to change. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a power of 5. It's creative, it's interesting, it just wasn't executed properly. I don't know, I don't like it. I do like the landscaping. I think the yard is kind of beautiful and the perfect size. And if we zoom up, it kind of wraps all the way around and they have this nice pond in the background. I think that's my favorite part so far. Okie doke, let's jump inside. Okay, not terrible. We got a little bit of a Cassandra Goth living room happening. Yeah, the style of it isn't too bad. I don't know how I feel about the yellow dining room, but other than that, like it's more the layout of everything. Like I would never put this stuff where they put it. Again, teeny tiny kitchen, teeny tiny dining room, 2 massive living rooms, massive hallway, and then this little like bathroom just kind of popped in the middle. Let's move upstairs. Ugh. Oh my God, I was not expecting this yellow. His bedroom's kind of big and bulky and like dark with nothing in it. This is a Cassandra Goth bedroom. This is exactly how I would make it. The shell's a little all over the place, but I do like to give a little credit for some ambition. This house had a lot of things going on, and I think they, well, maybe not tried their best, but you know, they definitely put in a good couple hours. And there's a few details that we haven't seen anywhere else, but like overall, I just don't really like it. I'm gonna give this house a 5. 1 point for each of the stories on the tower. Well, that about does it for Midnight Hollow. Taking a look at the scores, we didn't have as much of a crazy time as the last episode. And we did find another perfect 10. And I would say after doing 3 of the worlds in The Sims 3, Midnight Hollow so far is my favorite. It's always been my favorite to play in, so I wasn't really expecting to be any different, but I didn't want to just immediately assume, you know? And before we go, please leave a comment down below on which world you want to see next. Someone said Lucky Palms, someone said Roaring Heights. I'm leaning towards Lucky Palms, but I need you guys to let me know so that way I can give you what you want. What you really, really want. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a like or subscribe for some more Sims content. I'm still ripping on EA. I'm gonna switch up my content a little bit, do a little more gameplay, maybe some building again. I've actually never really gotten into Create a Sim, and after what EA just did to the Calientes in The Sims 4, I feel it's my duty to step in. Thanks so much. It's been a blast, and just seeing my channel grow by ripping on EA just brings me nothing but happiness. We'll see you in the next one. Boom.